In-person meeting between Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He is a regular feature at G7s. He's been to the last three of them, always coming, looking to get more aid from the member countries, either financial contributions or actual weapon systems. Today, no different. He's an expensive date, so when he met with Mark Carney, Carney had to announce more money for Ukraine. $2 billion in military funding, as well as $2.3 billion in loans. That's money not coming out of Canadian taxpayers' pockets, though. That loan money is actually taken from seized Russian assets. The interest that was earned on that is now being used to fund Ukraine's reconstruction. So Canada is going to contribute some of that money that was seized here. Listen to what Mark Carney had to say about this, and then also Volodymyr Zelenskyy's response.
We are providing additional military assistance, drones, helicopters, broader munitions, over $2 billion worth of assistance directly to Ukraine. And to be absolutely clear, this support will be unwavering until we get a just peace for Ukrainian people.
Thank you for the military package. It's important for our soldiers to be strong at the battlefield, to stay strong out until Russia will not be ready for the peace negotiations. We are ready for the peace negotiations, unconditional ceasefire. I think it's very important, but for this we need pressure. And of course I want to speak with Prime Minister today about sanctions, additional sanctions, and thanks for the real unwavering support from your side, from all the Canadians to our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is really crucial for Zelenskyy to be getting money from other countries other than the United States, because with President Donald Trump, of course, the future of U.S. military support for Ukraine in its war against Russia, now into its fourth year, really looking uncertain. But this $2 billion in new aid that Canada has announced, in fact, it was actually announced last week when Mark Carney laid out a plan to get Canada's defense spending to the 2% of GDP. That's the target that all NATO countries have agreed to. Canada running at about 1.37% right now, but this is going to help increase that total amount. And Carney pledging to get to that figure, that 2% level, by the end of this fiscal year, not the 2030 target that he had laid out during the election campaign. So this is another way they can kind of achieve that as well, FISA of helping Ukraine defend itself against Russia.
Glenn, you mentioned Donald Trump there. This is a notable absence today. As we know, there was an abrupt exit from Alberta yesterday on the part of the U.S. president. What can you tell us about why he took off?
Yeah, there had been speculation that Zelenskyy would actually have another meeting with Donald Trump here on the sidelines of the G7 summit. That would be the second time they've met face-to-face since that disastrous meeting in the Oval Office back in February, when Zelenskyy was essentially thrown out after this argument that ensued between Trump and his vice president, J.D. Vance, and the Ukrainian president. So that's not going to happen. Trump left the G7 suddenly last night. He announced this through his from a social media post by his press secretary, and she said that he has to leave early. He said a lot got accomplished yesterday, including that meeting between Trump and Carney, but he had to go back to deal with the situation, this burgeoning war between Israel and Iran. A lot of speculation that the U.S. maybe get involved in that militarily. Trump didn't comment on that yesterday before he left, but he has now gone back to Washington. Now, on the plane, he was asked about comments from French President Emmanuel Macron, who suggested that they really got to work towards a ceasefire. This is what Trump said on Air Force One leaving Calgary.
You just posted right before we took off that you're not leaving because of a ceasefire. Why are you? Can you elaborate?
I'm looking at better than ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're looking for better than a ceasefire.
Now, the G7 always works on agreement, on consensus, puts out statements where all the member countries are agreed to. There was a thought, though, this was going to be a very contentious point, the G7 statement on Israel and Iran. How do you get the Americans on side with that? Well, they managed to do that. A little bit of a feather in the cap for Mark Carney for his role in leading that discussions, because the G7 put out a statement last night after Trump had left, expressing support for Israel, reasserting its right to defend itself, and also saying that Iran should never be allowed to develop nuclear weapons. But it didn't quite go so far as calling for a ceasefire, calling for a cessation of hostilities and further talks, sort of more kind of simpatico with the position that Donald Trump expressed before he left the G7. Obviously, this is an active story. Mel Fiza, keep watching this, and we'll see as those discussions with these 6 remaining G7 member leaders here today, see if they have anything more to say about that or about the security situation in Gaza, and also for the 4th year in a row, whether they put out a statement about Russia and Ukraine.